What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the latest wrestling news, including a video that reveals WWE's biggest secret, WWE Deletes a Controversial Segment, Beth Phoenix leaves NXT, Arn Anderson had a big blooper last night, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Cody crushes it. Now, Cody Rhodes may be getting booed as a babyface, but that didn't stop him from reminding fans why he's one of the hardest working men in the squared circle. The American Nightmare's Atlanta street fight against Andrade was an action-packed affair, highlighted by a sick spot where Brandy Rhodes lit a table on fire, setting things up for Cody to plant Andrade through the table. Cody didn't emerge unscathed, but he did win the match, pinning Andrade while Rhodes was literally on fire. Whether this helps win back any fans remains to be seen, but it's good to see Cody doing his best to get over. Number 2, will Wardlow finally turn? Is MJF's bodyguard Wardlow gonna turn face? While AEW has been planting the seeds for Wardlow turning on his annoying and arrogant boss for the past 2 years, his popularity with the fans is becoming more and more obvious, so much so that AEW may finally turn him to capitalize on the fans digging his badassery. The Atlanta fans lost their minds every time Wardlow powerbombed his hapless opponent AC Adams, cheering louder with every consecutive powerbomb. Fans love a badass monster, and a face turn seems to be coming soon. The biggest question is whether it will happen during MJF's feud with CM Punk or afterwards. Number 3, Sting kills the Gun Club's undefeated record. Sting ended the Gun Club's undefeated record last night, a move that some fans may have criticized for ending Billy and Colton Gunn's string of success, but one which should have surprised no one. The win solidified the idea that Sting is still the old West Sheriff who can enforce the law as needed, but has also created the opportunity for AEW to build the Gun Club up further by booking a segment where they seek revenge. It might not happen, but the brief series between the Gun Club and opponents Sting and Darby Allin showed how AEW is capable of booking short-term and long-term story arcs to entertain the fans. Number 4, Danielson Page build is getting spicy. Major props to AEW for its build-up for the upcoming Bryan Danielson vs Adam Page AEW World Championship match at the upcoming Winter is Coming edition of Dynamite. Danielson's heelish drive for the title has been booked masterfully, with Bryan unveiling a new layer of his heel side every week as he takes out Page's friends in the Dark Order. This week's show had the added intrigue of Page providing guest commentary during the match, with the stipulation that he would be fined if he stepped away from the announce table, making things even more suspenseful as Danielson sadistically tore Alan Five Angels apart. This feud is like a hot sauce that creeps up on you, and just when you think it can't get any hotter, it does. Number 4, Cody's Golden Shovel. AEW's Easter eggs to its fans are legendary, dating all the way back to AEW's first pay-per-view when Cody Rhodes produced a sledgehammer and destroyed a throne, obviously referencing Triple H and the WWE. Last night featured another inside joke for fans who are familiar with the game's reputation for burying opponents during his World Championship reigns in the early 21st century, a purported practice that some fans liken to Triple H using a golden shovel to keep up-and-coming stars from overtaking him. Cody produced a golden shovel during his hardcore match with Andrade last night. And no one can replace Jim Ross. Jim Ross is currently battling skin cancer, where the good old Jet are currently undergoing rigorous radiation treatment. He won't be able to call the action on Dynamite. AEW came up with a clever way to make up for Ross's absence by having various wrestlers sit in as guest commentators, with some of the spots helping to advance storylines. AEW made it clear that Ross is one of a kind, while also continuing wrestling's tradition that the show must go on. But that was the good. What about the bad? As number 1, a messy main event. Street fights, and any hardcore matches for that matter, are a great way to pop an audience and indulge our fans' appetite for destruction. Unfortunately, last night's Atlanta street fight between Cody and Andrade also showed how street fights can quickly deteriorate into an absolute mess, as wrestlers try to outdo previous hardcore matches by introducing more foreign objects than Home Depot level and an army surplus store combined. There was so much randomness in the main event that things got a little too weird. Number 2, Punk vs Lee Moriarty. Our fans may not like this next segment, as we had a hard question to ask: is CM Punk indulging himself with his choice of opponents, or is he simply trying to help undercard talent? Last night's Punk vs Lee match was another example of CM Punk's string of TV matches where he wrestles mid-card opponents, barely beating them in the process. Now, we applaud CM Punk's desire to work with undercard talent, especially if he's doing it to give them a rub, but so far the experiment has been a failure. They looked strong against Punk last night, but it's doubtful AEW fans will see him competing for titles anytime soon. Tony Khan needs to ask how much is Punk helping opponents look good and how much he is making himself look weak. Now, there was nothing downright ugly about last night's show, as it continued its streak of quality shows that provided well-focused segments that forwarded storylines, entertained fans with solid wrestling, and encouraged them to tune into next week. AEW has some red-hot programs right now that have the potential to quickly turn nuclear, including the Bryan Danielson vs Adam Page program and the MJF vs CM Punk feud. Jericho vs 2.0 seems like a mismatch and will be a true test of AEW's willingness to use top-tier talent to get over mid-card acts. In this case, AEW could be overreaching. What do you guys think of Dynamite last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at WWE Deletes Controversial Comment from Raw. Topping today's news is the news that WWE's deleted a controversial comment from the 29th November Raw. PW Insider's Mike Johnson is reporting, "We've received a number of emails asking about references made to recent WWE releases on last night's Monday Night Raw episode. In speaking to several sources, we are told that Liv Morgan's line about her friends being released so Becky Lynch could have a big contract were likely from Vince McMahon or someone else on the creative team. The line is not featured in the YouTube clip from the segment." As we reported in our Raw analysis, some wrestlers in and out of the WWE thought the comments were tacky and that WWE should have exercised better taste. Next up, WWE's biggest secret leaked. Our fans love to see what's going on behind the scenes in WWE, and now Twitter user The Macho Beard has posted what is being presented as a video of a WWE employee instructing seat fillers on how to do their jobs. As we've shown in past videos, the WWE uses seat fillers to sit in seats in key spots during TV and pay-per-view shows in order to enhance the perception that the show has a capacity crowd. This is different than the WWE papering shows or giving fans upgrades from upper-level seats to lower-level seats, and that these people only sit in the seats when a paying fan leaves their seat to buy WWE merchandise, grab a snack, or reconsider their decision to attend Raw. Here are some of the alleged instructions given to seat fillers.
You're booing. Somebody who hopefully paid a lot of money for the seat you're sitting in comes back and is very confused as to why you are sitting there. Kindly and politely explain, hey, listen, I'm a seat filler, I'm with WWE, I'm only sitting here until you get back. Most of the time, that will solve all problems. Sometimes people want to argue, they want to insult, they want to get into a confrontation about it. Please do not confront or argue back, okay? I will have eyes on you guys. I promise I'll come over and rescue you if you need to be rescued, all right? I might move you guys one time. I might move you 50 times. I am giving you a heads up. I am going to move you a lot. I'm going to move you guys a lot tonight. Please be ready to move at any point in time.
There's no word on whether any seat fillers have either been given an unexpected WrestleMania moment when an outraged fan returned to someone sitting in their $500 seat. Next up, Beth Phoenix leaves NXT. Now, unfortunately, a little bit of sad news as Beth Phoenix is now leaving the broadcast booth to spend more time with her family. In a tweet, Beth Phoenix said, "Ahead of War Games, I wanted to share that this Sunday will be my final night in NXT. While I'll remain a part of WWE, I've made the choice to step away from the weekly broadcast booth to spend time with my family. This was not an easy decision as I've loved my 3+ years and 135 episodes with NXT and I'm incredibly proud of the brand. I will forever be grateful to Vic Joseph, Wade Barrett, Nigel McGuinness, Tom Phillips, Mauro Ranallo, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Michael Cole and my entire NXT family, both in and out of the ring, for the amazing opportunity. NXT will always be a part of me and Arnie Betty will always be a part of NXT. Leave the porch light on for me." Now, could this signal that Beth Phoenix might be coming out of retirement and into the ring? As some have suspected that there will be a mixed tag match involving Miz and Maurice versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, a fan video shows Arn Anderson falling off the entrance ramp. Andrade and Cody Rhodes weren't the only wrestlers who took a sick bump, but in the case of Cody's coach Arn Anderson, it was an accidental fall that did a number on him. Twitter user Joe Pearl posted a video of the spot where Cody and Arn were walking towards the ring when Andrade and his manager Jose attacked Cody and Arn respectively. However, something happened with Arn and he slipped off the entrance ramp, falling down. Thankfully, this was no significant drop for Anderson and he seemed to be fine after Jose discreetly pulled him up before punching away at him. What an absolute legend. But there you have it, guys. A look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.